Hey, what's going on? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It was a beautiful Sunday today, so hopefully all you mothers had a chance to enjoy this beautiful day that God had blessed us with. So, it as my last couple of videos have been mentioning, it's been a struggle for me lately. So, I had a good conversation with my wife about um, getting back into and not making excuses to getting back into the Word. And I feel like that's all I keep doing. So it's a struggle. It really is a struggle. And I actually saw a reel from someone about spending this whole week not complaining about a single thing and just being thankful for everything. And it made me start wondering and thinking to myself. And I even posed this question to some of my buddies at work: is like, how do I go each day and know that I'm giving everything to the glory of God and that I'm trusting God in everything that I do? Like, how do I gauge that? And I think part of that is, I have to be in the Word, which I haven't been, but how do I on a regular everyday basis, like every minute of every day of every hour, how do I live that life? And then it hit me that just thinking about it is actually probably a good sign. Like, thinking about how do I do that and making sure that God, Jesus are like a forefront of my mind and how I respond and react to things. But it just made me think, and maybe some of you guys out there can let me know, like, what is it that you guys do that gauge your day to let you know, like, how did you give everything to the glory of God? How did you live for heavenly things each day versus how did you live for worldly things? And how often do we allow worldly things to kind of get in our way and not realize it? And how do we combat that? And I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm in a position where I need to start digging in again. I need to dig in more, and I need to be in the Word. I need to be praying more. And I know when you read the Bible and you hear Jesus talking about, how often he prays and prays to the Father and builds a relationship with the Father. And I think the more I do that, the less I will have to question whether or not I'm living each day. I will know when I'm living each day to glorify God, because I'll just know. I'm pretty sure I'll feel differently, I'll act differently. But I think it's a good thing and it's a good sign to be asking yourself each day, did I do enough to glorify God today? Did I do everything to glorify God today? And so I think it's a good starting point for us, for those of us that are kind of really struggling to walk our faith. And I think maybe that's where what kind of rut I'm in right now um, am I doing enough to glorify God each and every day? And then how do I know that I am? And so I have to continue to kind of get back in the Word. And I know I was, using these videos as an accountability tool, and I don't know how much it's really, holding me accountable. And I don't know how much I'm doing to live the life I should be living, an idea that I was hoping that I was going to live by making these videos. I think maybe my intention with making these videos were one thing, but then as I continued to do them, it kind of evolved and changed, and I don't want that. So I want to go back to what my original intention was, and that is to live my faith and share with you guys. So I'm going to start doing a little less sit down like this. I might still do this because I think eventually one day I would like to get this to a podcast where it's like a sit down and a conversation with some other people and what it looks like to live boldly in your faith. But I think for this podcast, what I need to do is I need to start recording videos of what I'm doing to live out my faith, and like how certain things in my day, maybe I could show you what it is that I did that helped me live out my faith better and help me become a better disciple of Jesus. And I think that's what I need to start doing. Maybe more vlog type videos, just kind of like day to day of, like, when something comes about that I want to kind of make a video about, what it makes me think of, like, oh, this is a great thing that, this part of the Bible teaches us. and this is how I would do it. And I think I need to do more of that. So, and I know the more you read the book, the more you get into the Bible, the more you're going to start knowing like the different passages, and you're going to start thinking about like when you come across something of like, hey, Acts says this, and this is how I should be. And we talked about Acts the other day about finishing the race, and and that's kind of what I need to do. Is I need to show you what it looks like for me to be finishing my race. And how do I start finishing that race? How do I even get into the race? One of my friends is actually running a 10K this weekend. Hopefully he did a great job. Looking forward to hearing how your results were. And I think, when you prepare for a race, it isn't just like you just get up one day and you go run. You have to prepare for it. You have to every day start off like, you have the couch to 5K, and I think you have to start somewhere. And so, and I think that's a big thing is like every day start somewhere. Another buddy of mine he likes to use the YouVersion Bible app, and he reads the Bible verse of the day, and then sometimes we'll go read from it, and I think that just that little bit helps every day. Like if you start there, start reading that little bit every day. Maybe start your day in prayer. Something that a lot of us do is we'll start our day in prayer, but do you wake up and the first thing you do is thank God for your breath in your lungs and for waking you up for the day? Or do you wake up groggy and tired and think to yourself, oh, I don't want to? Like, that's my wife and I's thing. We wake up and we just say, I don't want to. And we're basically saying, like, I don't want to go through the day. I don't want to go to work. I just want to lay here and do nothing. And I think we need to start waking up and thanking God that we get to. Like, thank you, Lord, for waking me up and allowing me the ability to be able to be healthy enough to go to work and provide for my family. Thank you for being the provision for me. And I think we need to do more of that. God and Jesus and everyone in the book always talks about, in your prayers, thanking God for your blessings and being thankful for everything. And I wonder how much do we really talk and pray about our thankfulness when we're asking for stuff. And I think that's a big one. I saw another reel from oddly enough a athlete, like an amusement athlete. They're from the baseball team, the Bananas, I forgot what they are, but they kind of do silly things. They're kind of cool. But one of them had a reel where he was talking about, it's very easy to look up to the sky and thank God when you hit a home run, but how often do you look up to the sky after you strike out and thank God for that opportunity to be able to stand in that batter's box and have a chance to play a game that you love? And I think it's like the small things like that. We have to do those little small things, and I think it's really hard to focus on being thankful for the small things, even in the sense of how they are not the greatest of things. Like in that example, like no one wants to strike out. Everyone wants to hit a single or double or a triple or a home run. Like, everyone wants to hit a home run, but we celebrate the home run and we celebrate the triple and then we celebrate the double and the single, but we don't celebrate the chance that you had to sit in there and have a chance to do one of those things, even if you struck out. Like, thank you, God, for giving me the ability to be able to be here today, to be able to make these swings and to be able to have a chance to be able to, like, make the crowd go crazy and cheer my name. And I think that's one of the things that we need to focus on is the small things, being thankful and all the little things. So it's easy to be thankful in the big things. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to try and focus on this week is, being positive. I always try to be positive as much as I can. And that's a hard thing to do, in a world that is always negative or always giving you the negative things. And I'm going to try and be positive, and I'm going to try and be thankful in all the things that I have, all the little things, even the things that maybe not seem like a blessing, but knowing that there's a blessing behind them and there's always going to be a blessing that comes from them. So that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully I can do a little more of that this week, and I'm going to try and start, recording videos of what that looked like for me and how I did it, and and stuff like that. I think that's the goal. And yeah. And as always, hopefully everyone did get a chance to do things in each of their moments to glorify God. And, like I said, I challenge you to think about it. Like, what is it that you're doing to keep in track of whether or not you are glorifying God in all things? And how do you know that you're glorifying God in all things? Like, what kind of things do you do? What kind of practices do you do to make sure you're rooted in Jesus? So share those below. If this is something that maybe, you think someone else might be interested in, share the video with them. If you want to keep going down this journey with me, I'd really appreciate it. It'd be really cool to be able to have and share this journey actually with other people. So hopefully everyone's enjoying their day. And like I said, have a great Mother's Day for all of you mothers out there. I'm going to go ahead and, see everyone later. Bye.